Why did you count backwards?
Because I can't ever make you guys happy.
He changes it every time.
Because I can't make you guys happy. I'm just gonna clap.
No, because you change it all the time. Just stick to one.
Okay.
All right, we're live.
There are a couple musicians in the group, so you can at least speak to our hearts and count the right way.
I'm a musician.
Okay. So, do you ever hear 3, 2, 1, 4? 3, 2, 1, 4. 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
No.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2.
Just pick your own number. It doesn't matter because it's Jeremiah counting.
That's good.
But yeah, Dave, what you were saying about the monument to all the games you used to play. What's that saying about being an adult is like you'll be able to do anything you want. You just won't have the time or energy to. Like, you mean I can stay up late, buy a cake from the store, eat it for dinner, stay up till 3 a.m. and play video games? I mean, I could.
Reality, heartburn, in bed by 9:30 with like 10 pills.
Ground up and mixed into your plum juice.
Plum juice. Excuse you, I use apple juice.
Wait, no, prune
He
juice.
uses-
That's what old people eat, right? Prune juice?
He uses prune juice to make sure it goes in properly and then comes out properly, too. Smoothly.
But that's what prune juice is for, right? To keep you regular.
That's all it takes to get Joel revved up these days is the word regular.
Trying to white balance using my Hugh Phillips light.
New
Whoa.
glasses, Joel?
No, just these are kind of the cheaper Amazon ones, just the blue light ones. I think I'm actually kind of figuring out. I think it actually, the part of it. So I'm not having anything caffeine related. I just wanted to just like single things out because I've been really trying to figure out what the hell has been giving this weird pressure, and just my eyes have been hurting. But now I'm actually starting to think like, okay, it might have been a little bit of that, but I actually think the glasses I had were not helping. Like either wearing them and taking them off was really hurting because I'm like, I haven't worn them at all for the last 2 days. And I'm just like, so I don't know. So like, I don't know if it was,
They
the
are a
ones I got,
prescription,
'cause
though. They were a prescription?
yeah, just a slight, but like, man, they like, I don't know. I've been off them now and I'm like, I see better now. Like, it's just really,
How often were you wearing them?
I don't know, like pretty much every day.
Okay, because
Like-
when my glasses, I kind of wore them for like 2 or 3 years. And then, but every time I wear them, my eyes would get really strained and feel really tired and stuff. It wasn't until I started wearing them actually every day that my eyes, it took like a while, but then they adjusted and got fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because it is such a slight thing, especially the thing what they did with my left eye, that I'm just wondering if there was already issues going on. It's not related to eyes, and then that's doing that. Then it was like a hand. I don't know. So
Yeah.
we're figuring out because they were like, really, like, you shouldn't have any. Like, there's nothing they said, but they're like, you can try this to see if it helps anything. But I'm like, man, I don't know. So one thing eliminating at a time.
Speaking of eyes and then combining that with how you guys like to take pills, that didn't come out great. Remember how like I couldn't touch my eyeballs? Like if I had to flush my eye out or something?
Yeah,
It was a big deal.
I do remember that.
Now that I've been wearing contacts for like a month and a half, I can touch my eyes no problem. The thing I can't do though, I can get the contacts in like first try every time now, which that for me, it took like 45 tries each time originally.
Wow.
But I can't put them directly onto my pupils, which is what you're supposed to do. I look up, I put them on the white part, and then I slowly blink,
Move them up?
and my eyelid moves it up into the right place.
Oh, wow.
But I can touch it right to my eye, like, and not flinch, and you hear like the gurgling sound of like the air popping out from under the contact.
Nah.
But I can see so good now.
I'll just never go to the eye doctor. That's easy.
Those headaches are for other reasons. Don't worry about it. James, with your current beard cut, you're looking the youngest of all of us here.
Okay.
All the gray hairs under your hat, I think.
Yeah.
Is that guitar
There's
far away?
there's like 5 hairs.
Just like a little sprout coming right out the middle.
James, look like behind it. Looks like your guitar is like really tiny, but sitting near you, it just looks like a tiny little guitar. Yeah. Ooh. Ding ding ding
Ding, ding, ding.
ding.
Oh,
Well, that doesn't work.
I think that's just a background. That's not even a real guitar. I forget what I was gonna say. Not because I'm watching James. He's picking up the guitar, audio listeners.
Magic.
Oh, he's bringing it back. Woo!
Whoa, it's real.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I've totally lost what it is. So,
Sorry, we could just start the podcast.
I mean, we already kind of started, you know, if you think about it.
We have to have that official start.
That's
man.
true.
That's how you
That's true.
gotta do that.
All right. We can do the official
Tradition.
start. You guys ready for
All
the
we have
official
left.
start?
Always.
What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about the irreverent love of gaming. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah, and tonight I am joined by the Ranger.
Yep.
Gotta be a little more guttural. You gotta get a little.
Nope. Sorry for trying to summon the abyss creature. I'll try that again.
The demons are coming out.
Did you like vomit a little bit into your mouth?
Yeah, we're not getting a lower version of it. Anyway, Papa James.
What's up?
I'll pivot out of this. And Joel.
The Ranger.
That was a lot better.
Yeah, that was.
And Joel.
Hey, whoa! Are we the official the old goat podcast?
That kind of works.
It has been
I wonder if there is a podcast about goats. Just goats, like the latest in goat news.
There's a lot of hard-hitting goat news, breaking
I
goat
don't know.
news.
Well, I found out there's a pickleball magazine, a complete magazine all about just pickleball.
I guess I'm
Hold
done
on,
with
what's
the
a pickleball? Don't skip over the lead there.
Pickleball is basically like mini tennis. Like you can fit 2 courts on one tennis court, basically.
Is it British?
I don't think so, actually. No, I think it started here in America. I don't.
Something called pickleball that's
pretty
mini
new,
tennis.
But it's real. So
is not
it was
British.
named pickleball because of a dog named Pickle. That they were playing, and the dog would always sit near the side or something like that, and they just called it pickleball for some reason. But it's actually really, really fun because it's just kind of like it's almost like big ping pong. It's got like a paddle type thing, but it's mini tennis, yeah, mini tennis, but it still plays a little bit more like
it's
ping
mega
pong.
ping pong, mini tennis. It's if you
This
just
was
put a
Yeah.
just right.
pickleball, just
Joel-
right.
Given your habits, as soon as you said pickleball, I was like, it's a pickle like carved into a ball that you eat, isn't it? like
Pickle, yeah, it's a
just
pickle.
jarred pickleballs.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
All right, so you can tweet at Casual Shenanigan to be a part of the show, or write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com.
I like how he's be a part of the show. Has anyone ever? No one has been a part of the show in a long time.
No, I don't mean
Let's
like
just say
invite
it's
them on.
not, probably not going to happen.
No, we read their comments and stuff. We do that.
No, but we still haven't read like comments from the past like 4 or 6 months.
We always mention them. We're sorry we didn't get to your email.
Well,
That's true.
It's just Quantum of Infinity's email that we continue to not get to every time. And you know what?
Which we should not.
All right, tonight's not your night is what I was gonna say. Because
Maybe for Christmas, ask Santa Claus if he'll bring you our attention.
for loot class, wow. Yeah, so if you've been missing us for the past 6 weeks, you still missing us? All right, this week a whole lot of awesome games have come out. So we just want to do an extended "What are you playing this week?" where we talk about what we've been playing for like the last 6 weeks, because there's been a lot of excellent games. So I want to start with one that kind of came and went just because I think everyone's excited about other things. But Dave and I at least played, and that is Age of Empires 4.
It's more Age of Empires. It didn't mess with the formula. It just updated a couple of things. Looks good. Ran great on my 4.5-year-old laptop. So there's that.
Yeah, I had deliberately not really watched. I watched like 1 or 2 trailers, but I didn't try to play much of it in the previews. I didn't want to read a whole bunch about it because I just wanted to be pleasantly surprised when it came out. And if it was good, it was good. And I was surprised how much it was like Age of Empires 2. It really feels like
So easy to pick up.
Yeah, like if you told me it was a I mean, better than a remaster for sure. But if it was like a reimagining of Age of Empires 2, I would totally believe you, because that's pretty much what it feels like. None of the balance changes are bad. I don't know, the new features they've added, nothing really messes anything up. The pathfinding's a little bit better. Like it's the few things
except for locking walls to cliffs and tree lines.
Yeah,
like,
but making walls is so much easier than it used to be.
Overall, it's a huge improvement. Yeah, it's improved so much for the wall placement that when it doesn't work, it's like more frustrating because you're like, I believed you, locking system, when you snap to the cliffside. I believed that the AI couldn't invade my base with 40 horsemen through that little tiny gap, but there they are. But yeah, I like the actual elevation more than just like 1 or 2 levels of elevation. That part's really cool. I think the economy stuff, I like they didn't add a whole bunch of extra resources because that could have messed it up. I don't like the 200 person population cap because I was so used to always playing with 500 pop caps. Now that the game engine actually works well enough that it doesn't chug when you have 2 people with 500 units each, I would love to play that in this one, just because I think there's plenty of times where like my economy will be 70 villagers and, you know, I want to be able to support like a couple hundred troops and I just can't. That's got to be coming, I would bet.
So Joel and James, do you guys have anything you want to share with the group while you both sit there silently chuckling? Or just business as usual?
Yeah, just business as usual. I will share something about Age of Empires. Okay. I installed Parallels. I installed Boot Camp twice on my Mac. Once I added too many, like too much space basically to it. Because I was like, oh, okay. It was like, I added like 90 gigs, but I'm like, it wasn't quite enough for the game. But then it was too much because I was going to do an external drive for Age of Empires to try to play it. So then I deleted it, then redid it again, and it doesn't run good enough on it. So I uninstalled, and I was really sad. I actually got a mouse, and I was going to say, if anyone of you guys want it, it's a...
oh my gosh.
What is the mouse?
Don't you use a mouse with your computer? Oh, he uses a magic trackpad, doesn't he?
Of course I do. Don't be silly.
Well, I thought you might have the magic mouse. Oh, I mean...
Wow, Joel, you can tell that Joel hasn't been in PC gaming for a while when he's still buying Razer mice.
Also, is that a game? Is that a GameStop price? Is that
Joel, you're stuck in 2011.
I'm sorry, is there a freaking mouse I'm supposed to buy? Freaking nerds.
I mean, Logitech.
I had one of those a long time ago, and I loved it. It was a great.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a Razer mouse. I'm more just in shock. You went to GameStop to buy a mouse. We could have just. Do you think either of us would have had a spare mouse? You could have had.
I was in the area, okay, and I was like, "Ow, drop it."
I have a better mouse than that running my garage computer, my old Microsoft Sidewinder. Well, anyway,
does anyone want it?
Yeah, definitely.
To be fair, I use a Razer mouse for my laptop.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Razer.
I have to be clear. How do you pronounce it?
Okay, so Jeremiah, he got my Xbox controller.
Thanks, buddy.
Get my mouse.
Yeah.
So you didn't get it to work is what I'm getting out of this, Joel.
No, I use the trackpad for everything. So.
Well, so it is working.
What?
Age of Empires.
No. It doesn't run good enough that it was worthwhile. So,
but it did launch.
Yeah, it would launch. It just
okay, that sucks.
I would have had to have it really, really low, and it would not be fun.
So Steam machine for you then?
Either that or honestly, I'm kind of I'm tempted. I was talking with James about I think I might get an Xbox.
Okay.
Because so I played over Thanksgiving. I did play some Halo Infinite. It was so much fun. Yeah. I really forgot how much I really enjoyed Halo.
Such a good game.
And it worked really, really well. It was a blast. But then secondly, there is talk of bringing Age of Empires to it because they brought the Halo 1 and a bunch of others. So I think if they do, that would be awesome. But we'll see. I'm thinking about it because I'm like, right now, really only the game I would play right now is Halo and maybe Age of Empires. But I'm like...
I'm going to disagree with you there, Joel, because there's so many games that are frame boosted now. Like playing Oblivion at 60 FPS on your Xbox.
You're right.
Oh, don't get him started.
Playing New Vegas, playing Fallout 3 at 60.
I did forget about I didn't think about that.
And James, I think, like, obviously a Series X would be amazing, but don't you think a Series S, the one that's readily available on store shelves, would probably play all the games Joel wants?
We
already thought about this.
But I feel like Joel's going to have buyer's remorse.
Oh, immediately.
Gosh.
Just because you could
That'd be like Dave going, "Oh yeah, I'm satisfied with playing Witcher 3 at 1080p on medium graphics." No,
Don't you bring the W word into this, Joel?
What?
Don't you bring the W word into
buyers
this?
rewards.
My Series
you're
X is so good that I haven't even installed Forza Horizon 5 on my PC because it looks so good on the Series X. So like, I just don't care. It worked.
Do you run it at graphics mode or do you run it at performance?
Performance mode. The 60 FPS is too good. I can't give that up.
Christian likes to play on graphics. Eden likes to play on performance.
I tried it on graphics and it didn't look that much better. It was a little better, but it wasn't good enough.
A little sharper.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it looks amazing, even at performance mode.
That's a good segue into Forza Horizon 5, which, James, have you not been playing? Just your kids have been playing it?
Yeah, they've been playing. I've been just watching them.
Okay.
It looks stunning.
It looks amazing. It feels like they didn't really innovate at all. It's more Forza, but it's the best version of Forza Horizon 5. Like, they've improved everything from previous games. The big improvements for me, and Dave, you might be interested in this, they're using audio ray tracing now. A common complaint in the Forza series has been all the cars kind of sound the same, and you can swap giant engines into them and stuff, and they don't really sound any different. So this time, they're more accurately modeling the car engines, and you can actually rev the car while you're working on it, just to hear what it sounds like when you change different parts. But they actually change how it sounds with different parts and different engines.
You rev the car, you rev.
But when you're driving like through a town or something,
driving.
if I understood it correctly, it is ray tracing the audio as it bounces off buildings and stuff. So if you're going through like a crowded street, not with people to be clear, it's just a narrow street, and you floor it.
Does Battlefield have ray tracing audio?
Battlefield doesn't even have ray trace reflections anymore.
You don't even have like ray tracing turning your head.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot.
Yeah,
You don't need directional anything. You can't turn your head.
Because of the higher player count, they scrapped a bunch of the ray tracing stuff, actually all of it, from Battlefield 5.
Wow, I'm so glad.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
but at least we got 128 players.
Yeah,
but we're still back on Forza.
Nobody can see each other.
We'll get here.
It's bad screen space reflections too. Like if you whip your gun like over a puddle and the sun's behind you, like your gun has like an outer glow around it from the screen space reflection too. Anyway, Forza, continue. Crowded street, narrow, not people.
And you can just hear all the sound like reverberating and bouncing back at you. Like it sounds awesome. It's definitely the best sound. I don't really care for the soundtrack that much. I normally turn it off because I listen to podcasts when I'm racing, but they have introduced like a battle pass type thing where there's a season.
Ooh, battle pass, you say?
Yeah. Well, every year is a month, and so every week is a new season. Yeah. Literally a season, like fall, winter, spring, summer, and there's new challenges every week, just like a Call of Duty battle pass or something. But you unlock points towards cars in the game. And, if you do all of them for the season, then you'll get a really, really nice car that's worth like 10 million in game or something. And currently it's a McLaren F1, and I've missed my chance to get it because I didn't play for about a week because of Thanksgiving. But that never feels cheap because the game is giving you so much all the time. You get wheel spins every time you level up, which it just spins you through, random loot generator. And sometimes it's a car, sometimes it's money, sometimes it's an emote or something.
It's called wheel spins though.
Yeah.
Do you have to log in for your daily?
There are daily quests you can turn in from Xbox, not from Forza.
Okay.
But you're going to have to log in pretty much. Actually, no, there are dailies. There are dailies in there. Yeah. Never mind. I was wrong. But
for context,
do I get a mega boost if I get the Xbox Game Pass?
But the thing is,
my Xbox Series X.
I did. Well, I have the regular game with Game Pass. I did pay extra for the premium edition, which comes with all the add-on car packs that they'll release in the future that aren't.
You're gonna get your money's worth out of it, though.
I am.
Okay,
absolutely.
Can I confess something? You just said, John, I'm right there with you. So, Elden Ring is coming out obviously like in February, right? So, oh man, Dave's gonna hate me just for this so much.
I already hate you. Just carry on.
Okay, you can buy just the standard game, right? Or you can buy the a limited edition or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, it literally has it has, I think, a gesture. Like, that's it. But I didn't want it for the gesture. I just wanted to have that cover. I'm like, dude, so, okay.
That was me in Witcher. I bought the steel books that I didn't get with my edition off of eBay, like the empty
not a
steel
physical
books.
one. This is a digital one, Dave, just so you know. I don't ever buy physical.
But is the actual artwork visible? Like when you launch
At
the
least
game,
I hope
has
it does. It looked like it is.
Dude, if you launch it and the title is like just the standard version, I will laugh so
Joel,
hard.
you're not talking about the $190 collector's edition that comes with like a statue, right?
No.
Okay,
Just the digital version, but it's like maybe it comes with a concept art, but I think it's actually with the normal edition too. I don't know. Like I didn't even read that much. I was just like I just wanted that cover art.
All right, the different
Joel, I accept this. Right now, me and Shane are conspiring to import possibly a Polish collector's edition, several of them, of the new Stalker, because they haven't announced the Ultimate Edition for the US yet.
I forgot about that game. Yeah, oh, dude, that's gonna be awesome when it comes
In
out.
the UK,
Also coming to Game Pass.
Oh, Stalker?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Game Pass, the best deal in gaming.
I wonder if that will be cross-play.
Seriously, Joel, if you end up getting like an
Single player,
Xbox, you absolutely have to get
Oh,
Game
it is only
Pass.
single player.
Yeah, yeah, Joel.
Like you say you don't want the $800 version, but you're gonna want Game Pass regardless because
Yeah,
like,
no, I mean, well,
by the time you pay for Halo and Forza and all those games, it's kind of ridiculous.
no, I mean, I think that's gonna work because I mean, honestly, there's not that many Xbox games that I truly care about other than Halo, and I honestly I can't even think of other than maybe older games. And I guess maybe the new Bethesda game if they
all the Bethesda games are part of Game Pass.
Gotcha. Well, I'm sold. So, and if anyone sees like, hey, there might be a refresh of Xbox's whatever the latest one is, let me know. I'll keep an eye out. So,
While we're stuck here interrupting Jeremiah's thought process, I was going to add one more thing to the Age of Empires discussion. I gauged myself correctly. We played so much over the cabin vacation, Jeremiah, when it was like launch week, right? Mm-hmm. I did not play it a single time after I got home. I just was too busy. And I got the notification that my $1 Game Pass trial was expiring last week, and I just let it expire. And I was like, well, I might buy it in a few months. We'll see. But I think I also know the answer to that question.
I still play it. Like I'm working my way through the story slowly, and so I do a mission here and there.
Great.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable. It's got like 4K, really nice made cinematics explaining like the history behind battles and things, which was always one of my favorite parts about Age of Empires was the historical stuff behind different factions and things. So that was pretty good. But yeah, Joel, you would want Game Pass if you get a Series X, and if you can try to do the thing I did where I'm paying $35 a month for Game Pass Ultimate and the Xbox, so I just pay for 2 years and then I've got the Xbox paid off. It's the same exact price as buying the Xbox. They just spread
Plus
the
Game
out.
Pass.
you just kind of
Plus
paid it
Game
over
Pass.
2 years, basically.
Yeah.
So
like
it
a
comes
phone
out to about 800, but yeah,
How much is an Xbox
500.
Series? Okay.
Yeah. So again, it's the exact same price. It's just they have you strung out for a little bit longer, and you won't sell it, in less than 2 years.
But you'll definitely get your money's worth out of Game Pass. Like you probably won't buy any games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was telling James that again, since I have like the soundbar, like I don't have this. What do you even call that now?
Receiver.
Wires.
Receiver. There we go. Yeah, I couldn't think of it. The receiver. So I could actually have room to. Can you put it on its side? I always forget.
Yeah,
like that's the one that looks kind of like.
It's significantly smaller than the PS5.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, cool.
I've got the two standing side by side. It's like this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Mine's been on my side ever since I got it home.
If you guys can keep an eye out, like I've been keeping an eye out for PS5s, even though you found it on yourself.
Oh
But I
man,
tried.
you just let that spoiler out there.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So the order I just checked while we were talking here, and it says it's now preparing. That's a good sign.
Ooh,
it's moved
that's
from
a great
order place
sign.
to preparing. Guys, gamers,
Jeremiah, I'm ready to play Demon Souls. Dude.
I'm so
I've got
ready.
A character ready and waiting.
I think my PS Plus re-upped, even though I haven't used it in a year. So that was nice. Gamers, this is how I did it. You ready for the secret?
Killed him.
I paid extra. I did not pay a scalper, but on Cyber Monday, Walmart sent out the email going, "Hey, if you pay for Walmart Plus, you'll get 4 hours early access to our Cyber Monday deals."
Dude, I paid for that too. I literally paid for it, hoping I could. Because if I got one, I was gonna buy you one.
thank you.
Somebody, if I could get one. So remind me. I cancel it. I put it on my calendar, but I need to cancel.
I would
Walmart
wait
Plus.
until you get the Xbox and then cancel.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Thank you.
But I like. It was $13, so I was like, if it doesn't work, I'll be out $13. But I didn't see the bit about they were going to have PS5s until it was already 25 minutes past when they would have gone on sale. And so I was like, well, there's no way I'm going to get one. And so I went ahead and signed up for Walmart Plus and clicked back over, and they had just the disc version in stock, which is the one I want.
Wow.
And
Right.
I collected the order and went through. And the whole time I was like, I can't believe it's working. I can't believe it's working. I can't believe it's working. And I won't believe it.
And then what happened?
Yeah. And then my wife, because it's her Walmart account, she got a text message from her bank going, this looks like a fraudulent transaction. Are you sure you want it to go through? And I was like, yes. And so she sent,
Accept the charges.
she sends back the text message, yes. And then I know what it sends back is an automated thing, but it says, all right, cool, no problem. You know, we flagged it. It's okay. Try your purchase again in a couple minutes. And I was like, no, how dare you? And I got on a chat with Walmart and was like, hey, we flagged you with the bank. Is it okay? And after going back and forth a bunch of times, they were like, yeah, it's probably fine. We won't actually charge it until, you know, we're about to ship the order. So as long as the charge goes through, then you're probably fine. So I think it's okay, but it was a very fraught couple minutes. And I have not canceled Walmart Plus. Until it's on my doorstep, I'm not canceling Walmart Plus. So hopefully I won't have to pay like an extra $30.
Cancel it. The guy brings the house. Oh, he canceled it. He like drives, puts it back in the truck, drives
Joel,
off.
I've been
You are a
hurt.
non-VIP, sir. We've checked your ID.
I've been hurt a lot over the last year, Joel. But I am very excited to play Demon Souls and then, to play Elden Ring. So do you don't have any PS5 discs?
Nope.
Okay, I could borrow some games for you to get started. I think I definitely want to play Miles Morales.
Absolutely.
And
Dude, the samurai game is
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah.
James, have you played Miles Morales?
I've watched it play.
Do you know if I've got the PS4 version of Spider-Man 2018, well, do I get a free upgrade to the PS5 version or do I have to pay
I
some
think
money?
so. Oh, no?
You wouldn't get Miles.
Okay. Well, that part's fine. I was going to buy that, but I thought for some reason they were running like a
I think
deal.
you pay money.
Okay. I thought they were running a deal where you got Miles Morales for like $40, or if you paid $50 or something, it included PS5 version of the original game. I could be remembering that wrong.
Yeah, I think I did like a $20 upgrade, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Okay. I'll
Standard
take a look.
edition owners must upgrade to PS5 version at no cost in order to redeem the upgrade PS4 edition, standard edition disc. So maybe it's free.
I'll look it up.
Maybe.
I'm sure it's doable. But yeah, I'm really excited. I hope it gets here. I'm excited to play it. Forza Horizon 5 is great. If you haven't played it or if you've checked out the last couple of Forza Horizon games, I'm enjoying this one more than 3 or 4, which were great games in their own right. Nothing wrong with them, but I'm really, really enjoying this one.
I'm interested in see if you do play Spider-Man again, what you think of the new redone character.
Oh, I'm not going to play through the original probably. Oh, no, I haven't finished the DLC. I still have one more of the DLC to do, so I will be playing. I guess
I wonder if it will transfer, probably transfer over.
Yeah, and then I'll get to see that. I saw that they redid how Peter Parker looks, which is weird just because I got used to how he looked in the game already. But yeah,
I'm glad I didn't really see. I don't even know what he looked like before. So
yeah,
or I think I've seen it before, but I played through the new one, so it didn't make a difference to me.
And then real quick before we get into the main what if we've been playing that we want to talk about for a while, and we could do other ones after that, but I want to leave plenty of time to talk about Battlefield. But right before that, Star Citizen did just finish up the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and me and my friend Chris have been going to it faithfully every day. And because every day
Dave just left by.
there's new conference halls they open up, and they have different ships in them each time, and all the ships from various manufacturers in the game that have their own design languages and ship priorities and everything, you can rent them for a period of time. Well, there's a glitch right now where some of the rental ships aren't going away after the rental period. They're just staying in your inventory. So me and Chris each have the in-game equivalent of like $80 million of ships that are still in our inventories. And we're like, well, on one hand, it sucks because there's nothing to grind for if you already have the ship you want. On the other hand, we can try all the different things. We can do mining and cargo running and all this stuff without having to shell out extra money until they fix
You think
the
they're
bug.
gonna patch it and remove them?
Well,
Can you give them away to friends?
the way Star Citizen works, I wish you could. I would happily do that if I could. The way Star Citizen works is they're in the database now. And if they survive past the rental period, the game, I think, kind of thinks that it's just yours. And they just did a database wipe for this patch.
wow.
So I don't think they're going to want to do one again. So
Okay, dude, you should sell that.
you can't.
Oh, you can't.
I can sell my account to somebody, I guess. But yeah, you can't just sell the ships in game, or I definitely would. Although Chris and I, we did grind and buy a gunship. We bought a Hurricane, which is not like a proper size gunship. Think of it like a large fighter jet, but it has a big turret and pilot. And we've got that upgraded, and we can shred anything in the game so quickly now. Like the amount of firepower that ship has, it's honestly, I think it breaks the meta a little bit, but It's a whole lot of fun. So Dave is not back. I'm assuming that his son is jamming his head into the side of the dishwasher or something, and Dave is taking care of it.
To the toilet.
I'm going to keep vamping. Dave is back.
All good.
Is your child okay?
Yeah, actually, I couldn't find my phone.
Oh.
Although tonight his new thing was he discovered he can bite himself after dinner. And so we came over and there's like a huge bite mark on his arm. And we're like, what are you doing? Did you bite yourself? And he looks at us and he goes, and we're like, no, stop. What are you doing? And he bit himself again. So that's a thing.
Kids.
No, stop. I like that.
All right, so I think the main thing we want to talk about tonight, the main game that has released since the last...
The main event.
The main
Also,
event
I'm ready for this now.
is Battlefield 2042. So, where do we want to start?
Dude, it's a great game. I have no complaints.
I feel like
Give
my
me
battle
more.
pass was really paying off.
It's pretty restrictive, yeah.
You should go to Dave's channel and watch a 20-minute video of Joel basically shadow playing clips of himself playing Battlefield on your PS5, right?
Yeah.
And Dave...
The amount of people that were so convinced that video was like, you know, the classic YouTuber scripted outrage and all that. I'm like, the best part about this is Joel didn't record any of it. He was live streaming for me. I ripped the video afterwards because I was crying. laughing.
Joel wasn't saving those clips for you?
He streamed the game for his first hour for me to watch. And I was tearing up, crying, laughing at parts. When Joel was screaming at his icon, why is it green now? I was about to die. It was just true anger.
Joel, I was with you when you were like trying to select like the guy to spawn on and it wasn't doing anything. And you were going like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And I'm like, I don't know either. I can't tell what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, since we work in UX, user experience, it's just like years of experience and looking at stuff, and it's just like how did it, because you remind me, because again, like people who've played the game a ton, not just this game, but every Battlefield or just all that kind of stuff. Again, like Dave, like he was laughing because again, when he was watching me play, there were so many things he missed because he naturally is, I play in a jet. This is what you do. Like this is what happens, and I anticipate this because he's played so much, right? But like seeing it through, I think my eyes, it's like you are seeing it through like when we user test a website with
Exactly.
random
That's
person.
exactly it. Yeah.
You're kind of going, oh crap, like they don't know to go to the apply button there, or they go to the accept here or buy
Did you
this.
play the beta,
gift,
Joel?
or,
I can't remember how much you played of the beta.
Yeah, I did. I played the beta because the beta was, it was really buggy, but
Right.
I remember I was saying the guns kind of worked pretty decently or whatever. But yeah, like trying to figure out like what the hell I was doing or like the scopes, because you'd select a scope, and I successfully did that, and so but I put it in the top section, like in one of the the 3 slot thing or whatever, right? And I put it in there, and because I had used that scope earlier, when it loaded in, it would have a different scope, and I'm just kind of like, wait, okay, what do I do? Like, do I have to go back and reselect it each time? Was the game glitching, or was it remembering what I used last time? Like, I couldn't tell if something was working or was broke too.
And I had to ask Edgar about that one, Joel.
frustrating.
I couldn't figure that one out actually, and Edgar discovered it for us. The answer was you initially spawn with whatever you put in the closest part of the plus menu. Whatever's closest to the middle is what the gun spawns with, which it tells you that nowhere. Edgar only discovered it by accident and then explained it to me. And that's only the case.
Oh, sorry.
That's only the case unless you change it while you're in game afterwards. Then it saves that, but only for the rest of that round. Then it goes back to your default for the next round.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I would join another game, and I'm like, then it would default differently, and I'm like, I didn't know if it was saving to a certain class.
So
I guess we don't have
whatever you
classes,
save in your
especially.
collection on the main menu, if you do it there, the next time you match make, that'll be the default setup. But again, it's not explained anywhere.
I got to tell you,
Before we get...
I really don't like that
You go
weapon
ahead.
switcher period, the accessory switcher,
Yeah.
because it feels like you don't actually have to make any tactical loadout decisions. It can just be like
zero downsides.
I'll just change my mind in
Zero.
5 seconds. If I don't like this, I'll switch to something else. And like, so what? I don't.
And it's also another menu you're getting into, I think, all the time.
Yeah.
Like to me, when I first saw the trailer, I thought it was gonna be something. You know how like in Counter-Strike when you're getting set right before the match starts.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be something like that, like a quick like Crisis. I thought it was gonna be cool. I can add scope, I can add this, and then I'm good to go. And then you're kind of locked in. Like that's
Yeah,
what you
if it
have
was at
for
the start of like
weapons.
when you spawned in, that would be cool. That would be totally
Yeah, yeah,
fine.
like,
It'd just be
you
a
get a
different
few
way of
seconds
doing the
and then
thing you could
yeah.
already do. But this feels like, yeah, I have no incentive to level up any of the guns because I don't feel like I need to try different things to find the thing that works best for me. Like I'm not at that point of the game for sure. I've only gotten as far as like, well, I guess this stuff works okay. I guess if the rest of the game would cooperate, I'll see if I like this gun. So Joel, what's the thing you said? Are we going to get into?
Oh no, I was gonna say, do we want to? Oh, James, thank you.
James.
He's sending me wonderful Spider-Man memes.
Is it Bully Spider-Man again?
No, I wish it was, but no, it's some pretty good. Some
James,
good
I
shit.
really love Spider-Man. Can you send me some of those memes?
I'll send you one.
Okay.
Oh, he gets one.
No, I was gonna say, do we want to start maybe a little bit with some of the stuff we like?
That we like?
We like.
Yeah.
And I actually found the first thing I liked about the game.
Okay.
Last night,
Lead off.
and it was they randomly decided to add in a normal rush mode to the actual main game, and I was like, oh, what is this? Oh, because I saw one that it was like Battlefield 2042 versus, I don't know, what's the other
Battlefield
game?
3 or something, yeah.
Bad Company or something, one of those. I'm like, the reason I think Portal is actually not going to last long is because it changes up so often that, again, if you want to, like a game like Halo, right? You want to get good at it. You want to get familiar with a certain weapon, and you want to like get to a certain competitive field where you feel comfortable with it. Like I think Portal's fun, but I don't think it's going to last that long to a certain degree because it just splits out branches like a spider web. I'm like, I don't want to fight against 1942. Like I want to have, if I'm going to play the main game, I want to get used to those weapons against me. Like that feels like that's the competitive part. Like it might be fun, but I don't know. That's what feels competitive to me. But the 128 player matches are complete shit. So the rush mode is only 16 versus 16, I think. At least I thought so. Maybe it's more, but I think it's a very small group. Maybe it's like 24. It was really fun, and because again, you're going in one direction, right? Kind of like I guess like Rush, Battlefield 3 or whatever. You're having less people freaking snipe you from behind. Like you're not, you know what I mean? People are not spawning behind like that. It felt fun. And the rest of your team's all kind of going in a direction you can go, oh, I'm helping. Like I see a person here going to this section. Oh, I'll help out. Where the giant map, you don't know what anyone is doing or like which location is more important to go to. Like you just, it's very overwhelming and you don't feel, especially if you're playing with randoms. Again, we're playing all squad or we have our own team maybe. But when you're playing with randoms, it's hard to like help each other because you like other than like I guess I'll heal you, but I don't know how I can assist you in a better way. But that was actually fun. So I think the maps are still not at all great, but it was the most fun I had in it.
I think some of the maps are fun. I like some of them. Some of them feel like it's a decent map that's just stretched out too far. Like it's decent chunks of a map, and then there's a lot of dead space in between, which also feels like
so much dead
a choice
space
to like support 128 players. But I've never been in a situation where I feel like the majesty of 128 players. It always looks basically like a 64 player game. At least I haven't played that many matches to be fair, but in the ones that I've been in, the chaotic parts of a 64 player match, they feel super chaotic here, but I'm not getting the feeling that like, oh, there's 45 people fighting in this one area or something, which would be amazing. I just don't think the game really incentivizes that through things like not having an actual server browser and limiting your squads to 4 players. Because there's been a couple times where I've actually wanted to play, and some of you guys have been playing, and it hasn't been too late in the evening, and there's already 4 people. So it's like, well, I don't want to play on my own. I don't want to split somebody else off from the group.
And you can't join on them. You can't join on them either.
I could be wrong, Dave. Is there a way to join on a squad if they're full, like join the same server?
I think you can join off of a friend, but if you try to join their party, it doesn't work. They are working on 8-player parties for later this month, it sounds like.
Nice. Okay, that'll help.
Finally. That's a legacy feature, Jeremiah, playing with your friends.
I mean, they've never had 8 people, right? Squads? It's just that when we would play,
I thought
it was
they've had
easier to
more
like
than
hop
4,
into
though.
the same server. Yeah.
They had 5, didn't they?
They had 5 before, and then Battlefield 2 had 6-player squads, but that's been 15, 16 years now.
Yeah.
Well, they're still riding.
But yeah,
its
just bigger
coattails, so-
parties, bigger.
Are they riding the coattails though?
I get they're really riding the coattails of Battlefield 3 and,
We're in the
and Bad
Santa
Company 2.
coattails.
I will say, Erica Harbor, the first time you're back in Erica Harbor with all the sounds and everything, it did feel like I was right back in Erica Harbor. And I don't know if that's a credit to Portal or an indictment of map design since then, but like Erica Harbor was very simple compared to their modern map designs, right? Like there's not a whole lot of innovation going on there, but it's fun and you can actually learn it. And I don't know. I had a great time. I feel like there's a lot more strategy going on with these simpler gameplay mechanics of Bad Company 2. I thought let us actually have gameplay strategy for playing whatever that Fiesta mode is, where you're just trying to kill the guy on the other team, like King of the Hill type thing. I had more fun playing that, honestly, gunplay wise and strategy wise, than most of the regular, conquest stuff.
Yeah, and I would say that my biggest disappointment for 2042, as far as the new features that I was excited about, it's the higher player count is not working. That was the number one thing I was excited for, and we sacrificed so much to get to that point. We sacrificed visuals, we sacrificed modes, we sacrificed features, and the flow is not working. The only main difference for the higher player count maps is server performance and client performance is suffering as you play. It is frustrating to crest a hill and run into the enemy swarm because people are still clustering, but now it's a cluster of 30 instead of 15, and you get mowed down. And it's incredibly frustrating to get shot from so many different directions, especially with the verticality they've added to the larger maps. They're more vertical, and some of these classes, especially Sundance, they can just fly around silently. There's more players that are zooming in more unexpected directions. There's no flow to Conquest. It's even worse than it has been in past games.
Yeah, because
it's broken down
completely,
completely.
Dave, because I'm so disappointed with, honestly, the map design because and I predicted it. I told you a year ago, their new big maps, they're going to have all their freaking flag points in the worst possible spots. Like, I forget what the ice map, there's, honestly, 80% of it is unusable. Or no one would ever go in there. It makes no sense to go. It's not even like a good
like that desert map
route or anything.
This Lawrence of Arabia map, BF1.
It's completely useless. Okay, the only thing good about that map and the desert one though was that if other ones are being occupied, that was kind of like a good. I can go out there and grab it, and then you can almost get up to 3 capture points. So it kind of had at least a little bit. But this, it's like they should have actually spaced them out evenly because you go to this one, then maybe you'd rotate to that one, then rotate to that one. But it's unusable. So really, they didn't have to make the maps that big. It's unusable. No one uses it. So really, it's a very small map. To be honest, it's just length in between random spots, and you don't know which way to go, or it's completely useless. It was really sad.
You know, we could all just start playing Halo, right?
I
was thinking, you guys can all get it on PC, right?
Yeah, through Game Pass.
Yeah. Well, the multiplayer is free entirely.
Well, yeah, that's true.
If I get Halo, do you think we could play some matches?
Dude, obviously,
that would be really
definitely.
fun.
I'd love to.
I honestly, I had a blast. I think I played 5 hours of it over Thanksgiving, and that was on the Xbox just one, the original. It was still so much fun.
I'd love to play some. That'd be fun.
I remember the grenades work the same way. The left trigger, I was like, oh sweet, because even with Battlefield, you have to choose the grenade. And I don't know. It's just it's just I don't like it at all.
Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna run down my list. I've been working on a video for 2 weeks now. I'm just gonna run down my rant list that I'm basing my video off of, just to give us another jumping off point.
Santa's naughty list here.
Yeah,
yeah.
Good references, James.
Ranger Dave's naughty list.
So ignoring the new features.
I'm sorry, Father Winter.
Oh. We just end it there. Is that it? Oh, so this is not issues with their new features. This is just legacy features that are missing here. There is no server browser in the main game, and no word if we're ever going to get one. There's no spectator mode whatsoever, so you can't do competitive stuff. You can't do casting for this game. For content creators, you can't easily make thumbnails or cinematic content. It's just gone. You can't change squads easily. There is a way, but they hid it purposefully, and you cannot choose which squad you join. So as soon as you leave whatever squad it puts you in, it just slams you into the next one with no control whatsoever. So you can't change squads. You can't change teams. You can't tell when you're in a vehicle which way your turret is angled in relation to the driver. There's no all chat to talk back and forth. So the way I saw people describe that is it feels like you're playing against bots because there's no player feeling from the other team because they're dead silent. And it's very quiet. It feels like you're playing bots.
And it's funny because like
how's it going to work for your content?
Well, the team chat is incredibly toxic.
Yeah,
my team is definitely human. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like one of the reasons like they changed the way they do in voice chat is to, you know, the dumbest thing you can possibly do is tell your fan base that you want to make them less toxic in your new game because they'll never listen. Which I just appreciate the internet being what it is. They just immediately moved to abusing their own teammates. Like if the only people we can talk to are the people on our team.
I'm proud of that.
It is the worst I've ever seen it. The launch day, I had recorded a couple of clips, like straight up just people just going at each other. I'm like, I have never seen this level of toxicity in the team chat. It's like you took away the ability to yell at enemies, so everyone just turned on each other in the team chat. Just to crank out the list here. This has been fixed now, but there was no medic icons for the first four weeks of the game launch to see when you were down where a medic was. There's no vehicle hit damage information. So when you're in a vehicle fight, you have no idea how much damage you're doing, which has been a key part of vehicle fights in the franchise for 15 years now. It's like you do a hit. It was at a glancing blow. Did it do 30 damage? Did it do 22 damage? Like vehicle combat in 5 by the end of the game was really tactical. And being able to see the hit markers and the damage amounts was a big part of that. All you get now is occasionally you'll get part disabled, 10 XP. What does it mean? Nobody knows. Tank still fighting. There's no voice over IP at all. The guns have cone fire, which is to balance the guns for new players, where the fire doesn't, go where you're aiming. It spreads out some. And that includes the vehicles too, by the way. The jet cannon has a spread of like 50 meters when you're like shooting at infantry. It just like you can watch your tracers just going in a circle around.
I killed the least amount of people in this game compared to any other Battlefield game. Like I feel like I shoot way worse than I do, and I can jump right into Call of Duty and be fine. Like it's not just I'm getting old.
I know. Yeah.
And then, the vehicle spawn system is completely different again in this game. You still can't spawn vehicles traditionally like where they would be on the map. They still get called in, but now they even combined categories. So you have to pick, you call in an attack helicopter or a jet. You can only have one or the other, and you get to pick for your whole team. Like, how is that balanced? If the enemy team has a good jet pilot that's destroying all your helicopters, but your dumb teammate keeps spawning helicopters and you can't spawn the jet, you're just screwed because they combined the vehicle spawn system. But that's just a short list of some of the legacy stuff that's missing and stuff that they've changed unnecessarily that no one asked for.
Can I hear you rant about some of the other features they've added, like laser-focused head turning?
Well, they decided that it's kind of unbalanced for good players to be able to turn in a complete circle when new players like Joel
that's fair.
Just look straight ahead all the time.
Yeah.
So they removed the ability for PC players to turn left and right to balance things out.
Just so you know, playing the Rush game, I was number 3 in 3 games.
I'll wait till I can see the live stream.
I'll show you a live stream.
You'll show
I'll show you my live stream.
Okay.
I mean,
any other new things? Any like cosmetics or anything you want to speak about?
Yeah, so there's an update on
just
that.
chumming the water.
Yeah. So the Father Winter, because they can't say Father Christmas anymore, apparently.
What, is Santa gonna sue them?
Yeah, it's just like it'd be one thing if it was just like a generic. I don't know. Anyway, we'll just move past the name. It's Father Winter. DICE actually released a couple of tweets yesterday explaining what that was for, saying that was not supposed to be seen yet because it was for a limited time mode. So their implication here is that it's going to be like what Rainbow Six Siege does, and a few times a year they have like, the Easter mode where everyone wears a giant bunny costume and stuff like that.
I really hope they do that.
Which to me, you know what? Fine, I'll take that because I never have to see that in the main game modes. But but
let's be fair. Rainbow Six, when they did it, they went all out, and it was pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
They bought all into it. They didn't do like.
But 2042, the most half-assed Battlefield game, guess what?
And I'll land here on one of my big issues with 2042's new features. And I think a big reason why myself and so many others were rolling their eyes so hard at Father Winter and the cowboy hat skin for Mackie is because the game has such an odd tonal dichotomy based off of their pre-launch trailer, all dark. And the way I saw someone describe it on Reddit was like, they had this set up, you know, it's the Day After Tomorrow movie, basically. The world is ending, climate change disasters are everywhere. Your country is literally gone. You have no country anymore. Your family is dead. And then you get to the end of the round and they're like, what? Sometimes it's just how it goes. Like, complete with like the super exaggerated gestures.
And dude, don't forget you collect CPUs and hard drives from satellites and shit.
The tonal issues in the game between them wanting to sell future microtransactions and the dark theme that it was growing on me before launch. I was like, okay, there's a lot of potential here for like a really cool gritty setting with the tornadoes and sandstorms and these ruined cities and stuff like that. And all it took was the quips from the operators at the end of the round to completely ruin the entire feel of the game. Completely ruin it. And that wasn't enough too, though. They added it to portal mode. So you'll play a battle on the Battle of the Bulge. And then at the end of the round, your German soldier with a completely flat, unanimated face just goes, well, that was easy, but no facial animation. So just, that was easy.
Do you remember?
It was really easy for him. That's for sure.
Do you remember when we were playing Wildlands and they changed the ending character animation? The one time I'll just like bust out laughing. So like got into attention together and like threw their guns up.
It's because that was a fix, James. You remember when it first happened? They tried to do like the jogging towards the camera, but it glitched. Yeah. All of our guns were spinning behind us as we jogged at the camera. So they hot fixed it, and their solution was we like start to do a pose, but then it just like jumps to the last frame, so like everyone would pose and they just freeze with their guns. Like you tell, like someone did it in like 20 minutes.
Actually, one of my funniest end game animations was the first time you bought that. I think it was Rainbow Six. You had just bought that operator. And at the end of the round, he like holds us up and flames started coming out of his hands. Do you remember that? You like cringed so hard. You were so excited about buying that skin too.
Yeah, I bought those like super immersive. It was the wood stocked 870 shotgun and like the old FBI uniform with like the leather armor and whatnot for like FBI hostage rescue from like the 40s. And their animation for the end was like pyro hands, and he goes like this with his hands on fire. The tonal issues in so many of these games.
Chucks his computer out the window.
But yeah, especially for 2042, just how they set the game up and then what we actually got. I wish I could see the internal discussions for some of those quips and animations.
Beyond that,
did you see some of the? Oh, go ahead.
I just want to see what is their plan. Like they're aware that people feel this way about the game. And it's weird because so many of the things people are mad about are things that like you just shouldn't release a patch where the character can't turn left or right. There's issues like that, but then there's just it seems like they've prepped so much for this microtransaction feature that they don't know how to pivot, even though that's certainly not helping. No one's thrilled about that right now. It's only hurting you, and people are mad about just core gameplay things. And it seems like they're just being too tone deaf. And they have an opportunity. Battlefield fans will put up with so much abuse in their relationship with EA. Like, they've got a chance they could actually get them back. But they're bleeding to so many people. Like, I'm still down to play more of the game. I still have fun.
And honestly, I think the only reason I'm down to play it is, I mean, again, I had fun last night, but because of crossplay, like, I think I would have played Battlefield 5 if I had crossplay.
Is huge.
Because it's like, it's not my favorite game. I can't play these games on my own. Like, I only played a little bit because I heard a patch. I was like, okay, I'll try it out. But again, if it's like, hey, Dave's on and there's enough room in the squad, yeah, I'll join in and play. Especially with the crossplay, I'll hop in. But I think one of the biggest problems I think with this is it's not just like one big issue. I think in the game, it's thousands of trickle down effects. Where, like, for me, again, like, looking, like, I wasn't a huge fan of, like, okay, this tornado, I thought it was going to be just stupid. But I'm like, okay, maybe if it's, like, tears up a building and, like, ruins a whole spot and then it kind of changes the map, or now that flag is now more in the open as opposed to being, it does nothing. Like, it doesn't add anything to the game. Like, the dust storm doesn't, like, add a whole mound or,
you can still fly in the dust storm in a jet. You can literally just wait for, like, the initial wave to pass and then, like,
really?
Your camera changes. In Battlefield 5, when the dust storm would come in on some of the maps, you were going to crash at some point because you couldn't see anything. It was crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, again,
It's easy.
They
It's
promised real-time lighting with day and night effects, but we played on that like shipping container one, and I asked Dave, I was like, it's always nighttime, like and he says no, well, it gets light time in like 30 minutes in the map.
When the tickets hit a certain point, it just transitions
and I'm
more
like,
lighter. Yeah.
Since I can't choose a map, at least randomize it so it may be daylight, maybe it's raining.
You can't choose a map. I forgot about that. You literally cannot pick what map you play on.
Like so again, this game made me go back to play Battlefront because I was actually just curious about it because I never got to play some of the like Geonosis and maps that they added. They added like Anakin and Obi-Wan and stuff like that. So it's like, and I'm having a blast. I literally played about 10 hours of it in the last couple of weeks. And you can select like, okay, like whatever, the supremacy mode. And I hopped in and I was like, oh, cool. I went right into the Geonosis map and the other two, and it just rotates between those two maps. And then you can play Rebel Alliance, and then you can play like Force Awakens era maps and stuff. And I was honestly blown away at how much stuff 2042 doesn't have. Like I could instantly spawn on my friends by choosing a little icon. Again, I showed Dave, I was over at his house, and I said, plug in your controller and see if you can figure out how to do your loadout. And he was like,
oh my
what?
Gosh.
It is a nightmare with a controller. And then to also like choose a friend. So let's say you look on the map, right? And you see the little arrows. Well, Jeremiah, think of this user experience, right? So let's say your arrow is at top, right? Mm-hmm. And my arrow is below, and I'm like trying to head towards B flag or something. Well, I want to spawn on you, so I would have to hit the D-pad up, right? Well, if there's a map icon between it, obviously it hops to that to the right before I can get to you to like spawn. So I have to go up, up, up. But if your character dies, sometimes the reticle, especially on controller, because I don't have a mouse, it will pop back down somewhere else because you're gone. So now I have to like navigate. And so wherever the icon goes, it changes the directions of the D-pad as opposed to just hit a button, look at the characters on the left, and just go, I want Dave. Like, it's not the same place. It's not the same place every time. You have to hit like left, 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 down, and then to get into the corner to do it. I'm like,
it's like a Konami code.
Yeah. And the highlight over it is so little. I'm like, I think I'm on Dave, and I hit it. Nope, I spawn on another guy.
You should be able to
I'm
do.
Like, oh.
There's 4 maximum of 3 other people in your squad. Just map them to each to a button on the controller and just put that permanently on the side. Like,
that would be awesome. Just up D-pad. Okay, that's Dave. Or like, yeah, Dave. They don't have the like promote to squad leader, right? Or did they even have a squad leader?
How about this, Joel? We were so confused, even all of us playing together on the early access launch week. There is a squad leader, and it means nothing compared to Battlefield 5. In 5, you could call in like support, missiles, stuff like that. In this game, all you can do is give your squad the point they're supposed to attack, which means nothing because no one listens unless they're in your party. And then, Joel, every time it match makes, after every round, it randomizes who the squad leader is. No matter who is the leader of your party, it just randomizes it. So it truly does not matter. Because if Shane's giving orders for a round, it'll match make, and then we'll play for 30 minutes before I realize, oh, like, wait, I've been the squad leader the whole time. Oh, well. You don't get any points for it. Doesn't matter.
Like, and to be honest, when we played Battlefield 3, I loved when either you or Edgar tended to be a squad because you guys just knew the map better. So
yeah,
it was like, oh, Dave says go. Like, okay, that like to me, yay, I know where to go. And like even again playing Battlefront, I was playing with random people. I haven't played for 2 years, and I knew how to play the game, and I knew exactly how to go to the map because the UI worked. I was like, holy crap!
Just like, calm down, Joel. Team play is a legacy feature, okay?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I feel bad for the cosmetics team. You saw the tweets from Battlefield Communications Twitter today. They're putting, I think the quote is, putting Father Christmas back in the bag. They said development for live service requires us to work months in advance and enables us to have options when we reach key moments in our first year. Totally makes sense, right? If you're going to have a year worth of content or something, you have to be working on that many months in advance. Today we have other priorities. So whilst we have the skins, we presently have no plans to utilize all of them this holiday, leaving it very vague as to which ones they will or won't be using. But we know.
So what that really means is there was like a ton more that didn't get leaked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so we're going to see these. We're just not going to see all those other ones.
Well, so I think there's a couple more tweets here that are worth reading. We also create unique cosmetics for single-time use in special Battlefield Portal modes to further enhance the fantasy in special events.
I don't want dice enhancing my fantasy. I didn't sign up for that.
What's the safe word, Dave?
I'm out.
So you guys, it was it me or honestly, I don't even know who. We were all spamming a bunch of Battlefield related stuff, but what's the like article talking about? Like there's like a big shakeup or whatever, and it's not like the one guy who left or whatever, and he worked on the Battlefield Live or whatever it was, the free to play one.
If you're going to do on your tweets, was that the last one you wanted to read?
It goes from there, but
sure?
I think that's I feel bad for those people. That's all I was going to say. Like, they're not the ones who decided that microtransactions need to be stuck in the game. And I'm sure they've worked a ton on special holiday themed things that might not even get used for a year if anyone's still playing the game. So that really sucks. That was all.
So the shakeup is actually, it's really confusing. So a bunch of producers, including the executive producer of Battlefield, have left. There's now a new one in charge, which is pretty standard for the game industry, but the timing is kind of interesting. Most excitingly is Vince Zampella, the lead dev of Titanfall and all the good older Call of Duty games, is now in charge of the entire Battlefield franchise as of this week. Which is actually kind of exciting. And someone asked him on Twitter, like, about the Santa Claus skin yesterday. They're like, can you just make sure we don't end up with a clown game? And he just responded, yeah, no clown games on my watch. This is his first tweet as the new Battlefield.
Which is the last COD game he worked on?
It's been like 2011 now.
Okay,
so
all right, cool.
Okay,
cool.
Yep, safe. Cool.
What's worrying about the shakeup is the official press release from EA is that they're like opening 2 new studios to support the Battlefield franchise, and they are looking to give it the Call of Duty treatment where they create a Battlefield content universe, which to me says more specialists, more named characters, separate single player games, and just all the things that honestly I don't want. I don't care about all that. I just want a good multiplayer sandbox shooter with vehicles. If they could just do that, I don't care about the Battlefield universe, but it really sounds like EA is doubling down and just putting more cooks in the kitchen, in my opinion, trying to fix the issues. And I also wanted to read this post that I thought had some pretty good insight on the state of the Battlefield franchise overall, and then also the staff turnovers and also EA's future plans. This kind of just covers all of it. It's a post from Nordo Selic 82 on Reddit, but it's just really well put. It's like, people have to stop thinking that brands matter in the games industry, because every 5 to 10 years, that is for all purposes a completely new company. The industry has a absolutely massive turnover rate and churn rate for employees. And he's right. The executive producer that just left after Battlefield 2042 has only been executive producer of the Battlefield franchise since right after Battlefield 1, which was a huge success, and the franchise has struggled ever since. I'm not putting that on his shoulders, but I'm just pointing out that for the franchise as a whole, there was a huge exodus after Battlefield 1, because so many of them wanted to do a World War I game. They never thought they were going to have the chance to do it. A lot of them pushed really hard for the opportunity to do it. They did it, and a lot of them were like, okay, cool. We're out. That was great. That's what we wanted to do. So we've had, even for Battlefield 5, almost none of the original Battlefield team left. And I think it's time to just kind of accept the fact that it's been rudderless for a while. It's just too many cooks in the kitchen, and a lot of the people who could have given the game more direction apparently just don't have the political pull to right the ship.
I don't think Battlefield's really has anything to do DNA-wise with everything that everyone remembers and loves about Battlefield. It's just EA's shooter. And EA being EA, they're doing the DC thing. They won't commit to one direction long enough to stick it out and make it good. They're trying to leech off of individual successes that other franchises have had and meld them all together while losing sight of the only reasons people care about the Battlefield name in the first place. Like, what's the difference between them just saying we're making a multiplayer Medal of Honor? They own that too. What would it matter? What's the difference between Medal of Honor and Battlefield? How can you explain the difference between these two IPs in a way that'll actually matter? You have to reference old games that don't really matter anymore, because the name of a couple game modes and the loose rules being the same is the only similarity, in my opinion, other than all the legacy stuff they've stuffed in there to make us happy, which is fun. It's legitimately fun, but the Battlefield name, yeah, I agree. It doesn't mean anything. The studio name doesn't really mean anything. It's not the same team.
Well,
I don't know. It
would
just
say
feels like deja vu for every single time a Battlefield game comes out, and it really sucks.
Yeah. I get you, Jim. I would say, okay, let's role play. We are ahead of EA, and we're ahead of DICE, and we get
Let's
to
role
us.
Play? Are you going to fulfill my fantasy, Joel, like DICE does?
Expand.
I can if I want.
We're gonna enhance it.
So imagine if we were in control of this series. Like, I think, I would refer to Dave going, okay, I think Dave understands the heartbeat of, because I was like, they're trying to capture a younger base, but this game series is for 30 and 40-year-old people that have played. So you're gonna get some younger people playing, of course, and I think if you look at like Elden Ring, right? The Dark Souls series, the people that make that game, they understand the group that plays it, and they've just been improving and expanding upon it and adding more of what people love. To me, Elden Ring would be a complete turnoff if they go, hey, well, now we're trying to just get new players in, and again, you're having a battle royale mode, and you know what I mean, that kind of thing, and skin unlock. That's what excites me so much about the game, is the fact that it just feels like Dark Souls 1 again, but bigger and expanding upon the polish of every new game they do.
Joel,
and so to me,
you're saying if it did come with a battle royale, you wouldn't play the crap out of it?
Okay, it's one thing to say if they made some kind of multiplayer thing and it's from software in their way, maybe they could pull it off. But I'm talking about Battlefield 2042 obviously feels like they have forced elements in it, that it's like they're trying to capture Apex and Fortnite and that kind of thing. Because again, over Thanksgiving, I was talking with Joy's sister's kid, and he loves Fortnite. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it. He loves it, but he knows every piece of lore about every character. And he was talking about how I need to put Norman in it. And he was like, you could put Norman because, did you guys know this about, okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit of lore about Fortnite here. It's going to blow your mind, okay? Do you know how the characters get into Fortnite? Like Batman or Superman or whatever it is, like the characters they have?
Oh my gosh.
The way it works is...
Dump trucks of money?
Okay, shut up. This is the lore version. So the way Batman got into it is that Fortnite is reality zero. And sometimes real people get sucked into reality zero, and then their mind is confused, and they have to find themselves. And when they escape Fortnite, their shell of who they are is captured, and that's the skin you get to use in the game. So that's how they use their lore to have all these random Terminator and stuff. But anyways, they love it, and they love these little cutscenes and stuff. So they're trying to do that, and to me, it's yes, you're going to capture less people if you only focus on just the certain ages, like our age group that we grew up with these and we play it a lot, and we're looking for that. Hey, just give us the standard shooter.
We have money too.
Graphics.
Let us buy it.
Exactly. They want to capture both, and sure, maybe there's a way to do that. You know what I mean? Again, Fortnite. They own everything, like Minecraft. There's certain games that are going to come across that really work well. Even Apex. Apex is both a game for younger people and older people. A lot of people play it. It expands because it's a really well-made shooter, but they can't. They want to get all of it, and if they just focused, and to me, if they made this a gritty Battlefield 3, polished of 3 and 4 with gorgeous graphics and smooth gameplay and stuff like that, you would consistently grow and keep that solid fan base going, and then make a separate thing, make a separate game or something. But to me, it's definitely greed when it comes to wanting to capture all the audience. You can't, and that's why I think certain movies, especially modern movies, are just not as good, because they're trying to capture all. Again, some can do that. Again, like Star Wars, and you can have certain, like Jurassic Park. Those are the kind of blockbusters that can capture every type of person who just wants to see it, right? There's movies that come along, but there's some movies that just feel like we want to cater to, it's going to be serious and ultra gritty, but also wacky and goofy and childlike. Sometimes it's just not going to work. You're going to just have to play to a fan base. But
Joel, I wonder if I'll take a big old huff of hopium here. I wonder if their ridiculous, over the top Battlefield universe plans will eventually get us to the point where they can do all of this free-to-play, microtransaction, battle royale stuff in one title, and then have, either through Portal or just an occasional launch, a more classic-feeling veteran game.
No. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why Fortnite works.
Okay. Oh, this will be good because we don't have a lot of perspective here.
Fortnite works because the gameplay was good at the beginning. Like it didn't like absolutely suck. It was solid from the beginning, and they stayed solid, and they could add more stuff as they stayed solid. Like they weren't adding things that were breaking other things. And they found like the roadmap to add content in a way that kept people interested in the game without drastically changing the dynamics. I mean, eventually they added vehicles, they added different, dynamics. But having that core gameplay mechanic right at the beginning literally built the foundation for them to keep building and building and building and building. Like, and that's something that Battlefield just keeps screwing up. They think money first, money first, money first, and so they go in with all these mechanics in place to make money long term without getting that core. And so you're not building your fan base from scratch. You're kind of screwing over everybody that jumps in and plays, and it's just like
they keep trying.
Then they're not going to be around.
They keep trying to launch a franchise every 5 years, like instead of just.
And James, 5 is a great example of that. By the end of its life cycle, when DICE pulled the plug, Battlefield 5 was a great Battlefield game by the end. But it didn't matter because they had abandoned Firestorm, and they had made so many huge changes that their core fan base was slowly stopping playing the game. So by the time that the game was really, really good, it was too late. No one really cared.
I mean, that's what happened to Wildlands. Wildlands multiplayer was fantastic, and it just it came out way too late.
Too late.
And I think that's going to be Battlefield's downfall. I mean, I think that's probably why Halo came out a little early. They're like, yeah, we're going to capitalize on this. And to their success, I mean, I feel like they launched a game that worked. I mean, it had a few bugs here and there too, but it wasn't systematically broken.
I've literally been considering getting an Xbox, and you want to know one of the main reasons is when I was playing Halo, literally pulling the left trigger to throw a grenade, it like brought me back, and the reason why is because I threw it down on the ground and it bounced exactly as I thought it would back from the old day. You know what I mean? Like it felt like that.
I love that.
So like that, it was just kind of like, oh, I remember this. It's familiar. I know how to play this game. I don't have to have all the attachments and everything. Like I held my own and haven't played Halo in so long that I think that with Battlefield that you go in to expect, oh, this is how I should feel, and then you add the extra features. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, where do we go? Like, and again, the people that go, oh, well, you need 1,000 hours in to understand. I'm like, no, you don't need 1,000 hours in to get it. Like, again, I haven't played Battlefront for 2 years. Everybody's cards are upgraded. You know what I mean? Like, even when I play with Dave, like, I'll play certain games. Of course, everything is attached. But if it's Battlefield 3, I still was playing fine. I'm like a middle of the line scoreboard type player. Mm-hmm. That's how I play. Like, I'm not the bottom. I'm basically never the top, but I'm like usually in the middle, and I'm helpful.
like a power bottom.
What is this episode about?
You're welcome. But I'm literally gonna buy an Xbox because of how the grenade felt in Halo. I was like, well, okay, this would be fun to just pick up and play. You throw that sticky grenade,
it sticks on the person. Like that's the most satisfying feeling. It's like it was that way 20 years ago.
I know.
And it still worked.
Like I really was surprised that like I was expecting it to be, I don't know, just loot crates and stuff like that. And I was like, oh shit, all right. I want to play this. And I think the single player comes out in a week or two.
Can we give Jeremiah some accolades here for our beta podcast? Because you nailed it with one sentence at the end of that podcast. DICE can't stop reinventing the wheel. And that's what no one wants. No one asked for it. They want the same game with different cool maps and different cool settings, and they can't
100%.
Stop changing core features and reinventing the wheel. You nailed it. That is our number one problem. No matter who is at the helm of the game, no matter who's executive producer, who the artists are, who the map designers are, their number one problem is they can't leave well enough alone.
Like this is a little bit of a snotty thing to say, but DICE, like, hire us.
I'm a god.
No, that wasn't where I was going.
This may be a little bit of a snotty thing to say, but I'm a god.
Like, let's just pick one thing: the UI. Okay, gameplay. Like, I think Dave would be a great creative director for the Battlefield franchise. They would be lucky to have him until he was killed from stress. However, just the UI. We could fix the UI.
Oh my god.
Like I guarantee within several patches we could have that UI being like 90% better than it is. It just has to be a dictatorship. That's how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be a committee thing. It can't be, we can't talk to the monetization team. No. It's just make it work so people can play. That's the objective. Yeah. We could do it. It's going to be pretty boring, but it'd be fine. At this point, I can't even believe I'm saying this. If they announced the next patch would include Battle Log, I would be happy.
and I'll drop a little bomb here because I know you guys don't follow all the tweets and whatnot that carefully. One of the guys
we follow you that follows the tweet.
Yeah, I only need to follow you.
That's what I'm here for.
You're like our news aggregator.
Yeah, James asked earlier, like, do you follow social media? It was like some it was like a price line or something like that to find good prices on Xbox or whatever. I was like, I don't follow anything. I follow you. Like if you say there's some like good sale, I'm like, oh sweet, I follow the James social media.
I'm gonna start posting it online for you.
One of the guys that had worked on the Battlefield 3 era, like he was a big part of the battle log systems and all. Given this game's rough launch, he's posted a couple of hints of how things were in like the mid 2010s on working on the Battlefield franchise. He's like, yeah, there was a game mode that we did for one of the games. He's like, I won't say which one it is because I don't want to call anybody out specifically, but he's like, I came into that game late in the development from one of the other titles I was working on. And he's like, I came in there, helped with some playtesting, and I was like, this mode is garbage. This sucks. It's not fun. Has design issues. And he's like, he brought it up in like their team's Slack channel. Like, hey, there's issues with this, and I think we need to either do some serious revamping, like core revamping of this game mode, or just pull it. And the response he got from his PM was, hey, that doesn't leave this chat because you're going to hurt so-and-so's feelings. And that was all he was allowed to say about it, was whoever had designed it, it had been there for too long and they weren't allowed to hurt their feelings.
Well, they're probably not there anymore.
They're gone. I'm sure they're gone now. But that's kind of how the work culture sounds like is, again, too many cooks in the kitchen and not enough people saying no. They can't stop reinventing the wheel.
You know, thinking about like the new maps they have, like when I think back to Battlefield 3, the reason why I think some of the maps in those games are nostalgic is also because I think as soon as you spawned in the game, you felt like you knew what the objective was. Like you felt like, here's the adventure. Like again, like Metro, right?
Your objective is run.
You know what I mean? But like, it was also so fun because you were like, okay, yeah, we're going to go this way. And it just felt like, hey, we got to battle through this intensity, then over this thing. And then, like, I think, again, their maps, they had a progression. I think with again, especially the fact that they launched with no smaller modes. There are also no team deathmatch or any kind of smaller things that you can just hop in. I just want to get used to the guns. Like, again, Conquest is not that fun not everyone wants to only play large battles, especially that. Like, they only have just one large. That's all you get. And that's not an easy way to, like, play those maps because, honestly, like, the ice map, I can't give you any idea of where things are located. Like, because you spawn in such random space. I'm like, okay, I'm by this iceberg. Like, what is this map doing? Like, I don't understand it. But again, like something like Metro or whatever, like you kind of instantly understand this is the pathway. This is what's happening in this. You know, we're fighting. You know, and I think that is like, oh, that's like a good memory. Or like play there's a couple of different modes that we play in Battlefield 3. Like, remember what was the one that had the destruction one? I love that one. That one was really fun. It was like the apocalyptic, broken down highway. And
it was an entire DLC, the Aftermath DLC, where all the maps were like in the earthquake.
Those were memorable. Those were really memorable. Like even the one that had all the crazy destruction inside, that was memorable.
Flying a little bird around all the destroyed buildings, like you're running around all the different broken floors and
and it stinks because again, games move so fast that and like Cyberpunk, like it sucks because I'm sure there's a solid game in there, and I think they wanted to pull out something else, but so many bugs that it turned off so many people that it's hard to bring back that again. Like, it's not impossible. Like
it's finally starting to get over that hump.
Exactly, but it's gonna have that slow gradually. I don't think it's ever gonna be just all of a sudden pop into whoa amazing because they were planning on online mode. Like I'm sure that's completely canned and gone now, so I doubt that's ever gonna happen. But you're never going to be able to capture that same big spark, or I'd say it's a very, very small chance. You got to do it just right. And it sucks that I think Battlefield doesn't have a chance with it. I mean, by the time maybe they like somehow turn around, but that's a huge spin to turn around.
Oh, yeah.
To change all the specialists into like hey, cool, you look like a kick-ass combat guy. Like, I'm the engineer.
They could still,
like,
I think, but the thing is that all that could be tweaked. They don't have to can all of it. You could take the specialist idea and I think pull it back towards Battlefield a little bit and still make it work. Like, you can pick whatever skin you want. However, when you choose that you're going to be one of these loadout, like one of these class types, we're going to change the skin a little bit to make it obvious which one you are. Like, they could totally do it. There's a way to do a Battlefield spin on everything, and it would still be fine. There's a way to do Father Christmas and not make it stupid. It just can't be the only thing we've done for this is Father Christmas. And the part that sucks is maybe there was more that would make that make sense.
Father Winter.
Sorry,
Father Winter.
Father,
and it also
Father,
doesn't help
happy
the
holidays.
fact that it came out so soon. You know what I mean? Like, I was telling Joy about it. I was like, you got to see what's in Battlefield. She's like, what? So I just showed her. I was like, the concept, and she's like, what is? I was like, this is not in the game, right? I was like, it looks like it's coming out soon or something like that. And I showed her the helicopter. She's like, what? She's like, this is one thing if the game's been out for a while, you know, and you introduce something fun like a festive, you know, random
an event,
like,
yeah.
But right after bug after bug after. I mean, really crippling graphics issues and stuff like that, and frame all that plus things that people don't like about it, and then to unleash it, like it's such bad timing too. Like,
releasing new skins on a broken game is like a slap in the face,
and that's the part that sucks is the people who worked on those skins. It's not their fault. They did a objectively good job at making the thing they were assigned to make.
It's just really tone deaf,
right?
Yeah.
It's the problem that Daisy had for so long was, you know, the artists are going crazy with guns and building updates and working on the trees, and everyone's like, but my car still goes into space.
Right, and it's not the artist's fault, right? They're like, well, what are we supposed to do? Our part of the game was good. Like, it was fine when it launched. You know, it makes sense they want to overhaul things, but I don't know. I don't want us to beat a dead horse. We are definitely getting up there on time.
Yeah.
This part of the discussion.
I'm done. Because I still have that whole video to finish too, which is mostly this. It's a podcast down. It's perfect.
We'll check back in.
When are you trying to get that out?
I'm sure it will come up in the future. But yeah, it sucks. I would say, like, everyone let us know in the comments what you think about Battlefield, but I think the whole internet's pretty much in agreement. So, you know, if anyone thinks they have a new take on it or maybe something we're not thinking about it, would definitely love to hear your perspective. Like,
we should do a squad night though.
That would be fun.
Night?
The four of us.
Wait, squadding up in Battlefield, or you meant squad the game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, squad.
Sorry, I was confused. Okay, yeah, Battlefield. I'm down.
I think the last thing I'll take it real quick. I think that the anger about it too is also, I think, because it is partially like you know, you can tell there's something cool in there.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some good moments.
Also makes it.
Yeah.
I think that's also what makes it more frustrating is that the fact that, like, there's something that could be kind of interesting and done well. None of it is like polished, so it just really enhances the like. Because especially like the trailer, like I wasn't a huge fan of the tornadoes, but at least every soldier looked really kick-ass, and I was like, oh, maybe we'll have some cool, sweet future tech weapons. Dude, the weapons don't feel at all futuristic. They feel stupid. Like, they don't, like, I don't feel like I'm anything like a futuristic soldier would have a cool, like, or even like those guns, you know, like that tilt around a corner. I thought it was going to have something like that. I don't know. You might have, you know what I mean? Like an auto tracking gun or
it needed
I don't
the
know,
weapons from Perfect Dark. That's what it needed. I don't know if you guys played Perfect Dark.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like something to that degree. I'm like,
this game needs no more lock-on weapons. Trust me.
it just literally feels like Battlefield 4 tech, like only with a slight like cyberpunk-ish skin, or really teal UI.
Yeah, and that's the other problem with the specialist system is when everyone can do everything, everyone has the rocket launcher, and everyone is an engineer. Flying a helicopter is both overpowered and also super unsatisfying because you might as well just mute your volume when you get in a helicopter because all you hear the entire 3.5 minutes that you're flying is.
I think, well, to be fair, that's been every Battlefield game that's had helicopters.
Yeah.
In my experience, you're a better pilot. But I think it's also the naivete of DICE that they believe that like people are still going to be so on board with the whole Battlefield concept, the rush concept or whatever, that they're not immediately just going to cheese the system. The game does not incentivize you to play like the game wants you to play, and so the gameplay doesn't work because everyone's not actually flowing the way they want you to flow, and they took away the chat, so they just started abusing each other. Like everything that they do, they're like, and now that, but because this is Battlefield, people want to play this way.
Personal.
People don't want to play a certain way. People will flow into whatever way seems to make the most sense, so they can have the most fun. If you're smart, you lean into that and try to mold that into the game you want it to be. if you're dumb, and I'm not saying this about any specific person, I'm not trying to rag on developers who have worked very, very hard for years to make this happen.
Sure,
This is the creative direction of the game. If you're dumb, you just stubbornly cling to, yeah, but we want this to be whatever we've decided a Battlefield game is, and it's your fault if you don't get it. Rather than going like, what is the community actually wanting? Because they're telling you, if you listen, they're telling you, and they're like in pretty strong agreement right now.
And Jeremiah, you touched on one thing that I'm actually making a big part of the video I'm working on is that their player testing is not working whatsoever. Whatever play testing they have set up for internal closed like NDA testing, they are not playing any of the last few games like their player base does. Their player testing is next to worthless. They've got to revamp all that.
Or they're not listening to any of them. Or, I mean, again, because like that feedback with the concept, maybe they're just not listening to any of them.
That could be very true as well. But yeah, something is not working with their player testing. That's all I get.
The last thing I want to suggest we talk about tonight is actually I was going to lob it to James. We all played, but since James has not been participating as much in the Battlefield discussion, we all recently played VR for the first time in a while. And I think the first time we've ever had a big group playing co-op multiplayer VR for all the obvious reasons why it's hard to do that. But James, would you care to talk about the Oculus Rift 2 and Medal of Honor?
Yeah, so we all got to be a part of a Ranger Dave video promo, playing Medal of Honor. It was actually a lot of fun. Some things were pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
Some things just ran around like trying to grab the thing on my arm, like trying to heal myself. I'm like,
I had to edit around a lot of, how do I get the syringe? How do I reload? Where's my ammo? There's a lot of that.
But once you figure it out, it's cool to grab the syringe.
By the end, being able to like, drop the magazine, throw it in, just you're ready to go. Like it felt really cool doing it at the time.
You guys had some sick reloads by the end. Like Debbie had one where she spawned. I was running by, and she like magnet at me and missed, but then like quick reloaded. It was insane.
360 no scopes.
Yeah.
Well, like the game itself wasn't that great of a shooter, but the experience was a lot of fun. Just because we all kind of sucked to some degree, except Tyler. It was fun. Like everybody being kind of at the same level. It was fun, just doing something different than
it kind of felt like GoldenEye, honestly, Bond a little bit.
Yeah.
Joel, when you fell off the cliff in front of me, watching my camera view of me actually like watching you fall, like with my head, like watching you was hilarious. Like I'm looking down like over the cliff that's not actually there as you go.
That got me twice. I fell off something in the game, and the vertigo rush as you're falling like 30 feet, that got me both times. I didn't really get sick playing Medal of Honor. I got sick playing whatever the rec room thing is.
The paintball, yeah.
Yeah, not actually sick, but like I felt a little bit motion sick. But for Medal of Honor, it was draining. It wasn't bad, though.
I had to cut it out at the end. But on Shane's perspective, there's one point where, Joel, you and Shane are like in a firefight at the end of that train on the first map. Yeah. You were like shooting around at the end of the car, and you had this like amazing cinematic grenade throw around the corner, which is awesome. Shane,
I remember that. I was like, whoop.
You're like, suck on this, and like it was like a SEAL Team 6 like perfect grenade around the corner. Shane is over behind this tractor, and he's taking fire from 2 different directions, so he's constantly crouching different directions. And in VR, of course, you're actually crouching. But he fell over in the floor, like you hear him crash to the floor. His character's like doing this, and you're like, Shane, get some fire on those guys. He's like, well, I fell over, like over in the floor. It was so much fun.
James, what did you think about like the resolution of the headset and the controllers, like not being a completely tracked within the headset for the motion controllers and everything? How was all that?
So I had the original Oculus.
Mm-hmm.
I know Joel had the what was it called?
PSVR?
No. He had the Oculus. What was
Go?
Developer kit.
Yeah, I had the developer kit one.
Yeah, so you had it before it was even like public. Playing the Rift versus going to the Quest, the resolution is significantly better.
Yeah.
So like all games are better, but the game looked okay. I'm excited to try it running through like AirLink or something from the PC, just to see if it's a little sharper.
Oh, did you share that, James, with everybody? That we own the full version. If you go to the Oculus store, if you install the app on PC,
Nice.
You own the full version too. It's like a shared key.
There
I
are several games that
that
are cross-buy on Oculus, and I've been going through and figuring out which ones that I've owned on the desktop to play on the Quest 2. Yeah, just in general, like I think the Quest 2 is pretty impressive technology. Like the AR itself is like such a help.
Well,
like,
the speed of setting up where you just turn it on.
I like the
you
little
just,
tapping and you can like see that's
the tap
cool.
to see, and you just draw your play circle each time fresh. It made it so easy because I could just be like, oh, I want to go show somebody another room, walk into another room. In a minute, I'm good to go. It's incredibly easy.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Just shows you how quick
we ragged on. Sorry, go ahead, Jeremy.
So just to say, it shows you how quick the technology has progressed.
And that's what I was going to say. I hadn't played VR in a couple years because in my office, I just didn't have room for all the cables and sensors. I have too much crap in my USB ports, too many lights and cameras and all this stuff. But I feel like I'm going to play it much more often because there's no setup. You just use the headset. And I was not to become Joel completely here, but the convenience and user experience made a huge difference compared to my Gen 1 Oculus.
Yeah.
I mean, the resolution's significantly better too.
Also,
the resolution made a big difference for me.
Like
I
just when you first open the home compared to the original Rift, it's like, oh wow, this has really come a long way. I mean, I'd played before we got this, but yeah, go ahead.
It makes me excited for PSVR 2, and I hope that it is wireless. Like that was really, really cool.
Yeah, the PSVR,
or if it,
PSVR
however,
2,
yeah,
it needs
the
a
Wi-Fi
boost.
link or whatever it is. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it if I can't use it from upstairs, but if at least I'm close to the PS5 and it works wireless, that would be awesome.
PSVR is not hard to play now. Like once you've played on like a Quest, it's harder to go back to the lower resolution. It's hard to go back to like the poor
I checked
tracking.
immediately if there was Skyrim. They don't have it on.
You can get it on Steam, but you don't have a PC anymore.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, so I don't have the Steam Link thing, but I'm hoping it comes out because I'm like, I think the GPU or whatever's in it could probably run it on its own. Honestly,
I'm sure it could run Skyrim.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun time. Anything else anyone wants to talk about before we wrap?
Days Gone.
Oh,
If you get the PS5 or whatever, it's amazing.
That was a very long
close.
pause right there.
It is. I'm so close to the end.
Okay.
The game keeps blowing my mind. It is one of the best open world story, like survival type or zombie themed
Can I just
games.
Can I just sign into your
so good.
PSN account on my PlayStation, just like I have been on my PS4 for the last like 5 years?
Hire has frame rate issues on the original. I was reading some of the Steam reviews because it's on my list now as a back burner game at some point. Apparently, the frame rate increase is really nice versus the original launch.
It runs really, really well.
Nice.
Like, yeah. Oh my gosh. Honestly, the story keeps going in a direction you're just like, holy cow, wow, this is really deep. Especially for more of like an open world. And it's not a game like Far Cry or another open world game where like you see icons on the map and you have to like, you climb something to unlock. It's nothing like that. It's actually, you just go from story mission to story mission. There's like there's side quests of like bounties and stuff. But what's fascinating, I've never seen this in any video game ever. Like when you go to like the mechanic to like upgrade your bike or like a new town, almost every time you go to like a shop to like sell bounties, like, and essentially like if you kill a zombie, you collect like an ear off them or something. You don't have to press any button, you just walk over it. Well, you can sell it and you basically earn like street cred with that like group. And the higher you are, you unlock more weapons and stuff. And the weapon progression unlock is phenomenal. You feel like everything's going to kill you. But now after a while, I feel like a complete zombie slayer now. Nice. And it's just like, I literally fought the first horde in the game, I think at like 40 hours in the game. Like it was all leading up to the first one. And it was so freaking intense. Like it was so unbelievably fun. And I really thought like day one or the first hour of the game, I'd be blowing away zombies, but nope. But anyways, like you talk to like a mechanic or something, they'll be like, hey, St. John, how's it going? And depending on the story, they'll give you a different name depending what your rank is. Like it makes sense in the story, but like random characters that you just think of like, hey, what are you buying? Or like something like they like talk about their life in the apocalypse and stuff. And you're just like, what the heck? And it's not like hey, let me talk to you. It just happens to be in the background as you're sorting and getting weapons. And you're just like, that's a really interesting story. Like that's a lot of work to put into a completely background thing. It's really It's like really immersive in that way. Yet I'd say very accessible not like a, not as, it's not hardcore like DayZ or anything like that, but it's still, the story tone is very serious.
You know what I saw it described as this week, Joel, that was the final nail in the coffin for me adding it to my wish list? Like, you had already sold me, but I finally took the effort to add it to my wish list after I saw someone describe it in the sale reviews as it's Red Dead 2 in the zombie apocalypse. Like, it's like that style of game.
And there's no joke side quests.
Yeah.
None.
So I'm like,
there's no goofy goofy clown house, and you go like, I'll give you one tiny little bit of spoiler, just interested to give you an idea of a character. There's a character you meet in honestly 30 hours into it, another town, and he's kind of honestly like, I don't know, he's just like a young kid, really just the kind of oblivious person you might meet that are just like, yeah man, I surf, like that kind of like tone. He has that kind of tone. And you're just like, oh, it's really abrupt. And you're just kind of like, what the heck is with this guy? Like, he should not be here. And you feel that. Like, you're kind of like, dude, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And he gets himself into trouble. And it is so unbelievably serious. You're just like, oh my gosh. And it's just fantastic. Like, I thought, like, oh, is this going to be the first, wacky character that you're, riding, like, again, like Red Dead, you like riding in a wagon. And I don't know, it just becomes kind of goofy a little bit. None of that. It never breaks that tone. It's actually incredible how it does that. I was like, you like every little twist, you're learning something about the main character. You're just like, wow, I never thought it's Jeremiah. It's 100% Sons of Anarchy and Red Dead Redemption in a game. That's 100%.
I'm ready to go, baby.
I really hope you guys give it a shot.
I'm really excited. It seems like a great winter game to throw on the big projector downstairs, because that's where I'm going to put the PS5, because my Xbox is is up here, or maybe I'm trying to remember which one would make. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. But I would ask, before we move on, if you have more to say that.
I'm excited to play it over this winter. I'm legitimately excited about that. Should I play that or Ghost of Tsushima first?
Either or. I mean, they're both great games. I mean, like, I would just say at some point, just give it a shot.
Okay.
See if it might be a game for you. I just legitimately was like completely blown away.
You would say Days Gone is more guilty pleasure than Ghost of Tsushima, right?
I mean, like, Ghost of Tsushima has a great story. It's like, I mean, again, if you like The Witcher 3 combat, the Ghost of Tsushima is more fluid, and I'd say more polished than Witcher. Like, it has more combat mechanics, but it's like that faster. Like, it's just, again, it's more samurai. But if you liked Witcher 3 combat, you're going to love Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, well, I do, and I will then. That sounds great.
But I'm saying Days Gone is more of you can sit down and, like, do some exploration and, like, sit
like,
and play for a bit and then walk away.
Nice. Okay.
Oh yeah, and that's what's fantastic about it. Like, you don't ever get into like a mission that's like an hour and a half long. It's never like that. The longest thing might be 30 minutes, but a quest you think might be a simple thing, you find someone in a gas station, and then their story, and then stuff happens, and then it changes the entire game. You're just like, oh my gosh, that's something really to think about. And I'm just like, I was not expecting that in this game. And they don't change the tone. So.
That segues to this next comment I wanted to make. Dave just bought the the choice bundle. I forget what it's called.
Humble Bundle.
It was Humble. No, it was Humble Bundle, but it was the one about like games with like difficult choices. It's the one with Heavy Rain in it. When are you gonna start playing that, Dave? Like, it's not a terribly long game, but I
crack of the next decade.
I actually, this is a game I would actually like if you like stream it or something.
Okay.
Like with the camera on you, because I want to see your reactions when you get down. Because this isn't a game like you could like pause and like think about something, look something up. You have everything is like split second decision, and everything is like consequential. Like there's like nothing off the table when you're playing this game.
Ooh, you know what I can do, James? Shadow play is an option where you can add your webcam to the corner. Yeah. So I can just turn that on, and I'll just do a shadow recording. It's like something crazy happens when I'm playing.
The game is honestly maybe 6 hours max, Dave.
Yeah.
That's it.
So just 3 or 4 years then.
Yeah.
But I really want to see, because these are not like easy decisions. There's like some like really hard decisions you make in the game. Like decisions like Heavy Rain is probably one of the more unique games to play. I mean, obviously, like playing games like Resident Evil stuff, you're going to experience stuff that's just like, over the top gory and stuff like that. But this was like, it was like depressing and like, dude, also at the same time it was fulfilling.
In it is so unbelievable. Oh my! Like, I was livid. I remember Joey watching me play that game, and we were going, what? And we were just like, no.
It's about it's about a 10-hour game.
Did you play it, Jeremiah? I can't remember.
I have not.
Did you play it?
I've not played.
Do you know anything about the twist?
I don't know about the twist. I don't know about the twist.
Oh, it is crushing. It is crushing. But it's so worth it because you're just like, you'll never figure it out. It's so good.
I mean, you play. This isn't really a spoiler, but you're a father, and Dave is being a new, dad and everything. Like, you start relating with this character. You're like, holy crap!
Oh no! I sense the feel train coming.
Like it was a dark game. Like it was one of the more tougher games that I've played. But I'm actually excited to watch you.
Dave,
squirm.
there's certain parts because you have to do certain things using the controller, right? Yeah. And it's hard to explain, but basically there's certain button combos you have to do that they did it like a puzzle where like you have to hold the controller and you have to hold these buttons in a weird way, but when you press them first, it feels natural. But then they add another button, and you're like, oh, I can't put my hand there. So you're like this, and I literally was using my cheek to hold it to like do a certain maneuver, because if you let go, like certain things will happen, and so you're like really tense. Like it's kind of neat how they do that. Like it's really impressive. It's kind of like a Metal Gear Solid 3 or 4 when you had to unplug the controller and plug it back in. Did you ever play that, Jeremiah?
I've heard of
Metal Gear Solid 4.
One of them. It was 3 or 4 that there's an enemy that basically knows your every move, and you had to unplug your.
I thought that was 2.
They also did it in another one as well.
Maybe it was 4. Maybe I have done it once. I'm not sure.
But you had to actually go from your profile to like a guest account so that the enemy could not like download your thoughts, so to speak. Anyways, they kind of do unique stuff.
Some
like
games are designed by a committee like EA, and then other games are designed by Kojima, where he's like, no, this is the way it's going to work.
What was that dark... James, what was that Darkness game or whatever? Like the menu literally like glitches out and removes your save file.
Eternal Darkness.
Oh, dude, that James had a ball watching me play. I was like, oh no, what?
This is an old GameCube game.
Yeah.
And Joel played it for the first time at my house. Like this was years and years ago. But like there's this thing called a sanity meter, and when you start like getting exposed to things too much, your sanity meter drops to a certain point, and like things just start happening in the game. Like blood will start going down the walls, or it'll look like your game froze. Like everything on the game freezes. It's going.
Yeah, it's like, really fourth wall breaking.
And it's just like then they like wake up from like this trance type thing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, like I died, and then I went like to hit continue, and I hit continue, and then it did an error, and my save file was lost. I was like, oh shit. What is this? And then it like glitched, then it came back again. I was like, wait, what? It was pretty cool. That had to have been awesome to play back in the day when it came out. That had to have been like, what?
So Dave, I want you to play that soon. I would love to like watch you.
I still owe Joel Mass Effect. I'm close to the end now.
So, of 2?
Like with it? No, of 1.
Oh, you're at the end? No, it's close to the end?
I've gotten to the big reveal.
Oh, really?
All right.
Where you find out like the true enemy, I guess, for Mass Effect.
Yeah.
So I am currently
EA.
Well, yeah. I'm 14 hours in right now, according to Origin. So
yeah. You don't have too much more. Maybe 5-6 hours total.
I don't think I've had a chance to play since before the cabin trip. So soon.
Everybody, I think it's about that time. Yeah. We've talked a lot about games we've loved, games we've lost, Battlefield, and
games to come.
And we hope you all enjoyed it too. This has been a very meandering podcast, but this is how we feel right now. We are speaking our truth. Come live your experience along with us. If everyone could throw some vibes in the chat for my PS5, I really want it to come.
We should throw some vibes.
I'm attaching too much happiness to a slightly updated game console. But I would very much like it. Please and thank you.
And if anyone knows of Xbox Series X or whatever, or where it might be easy to find.
I mean,
you should learn the name of the console first before you buy it.
Is it it's the Series X, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like the Series X or whatever.
What's the one that's right below it?
Series S.
Okay, I always think like hearing X, I hear the S at the end of the X, like
Joel,
So I'm thinking like, is it Series F?
if you really want to be a baller, you could get a Series S, which should be pretty easy to get. Play that.
I won't. I will instantly regret it.
Play that while you
Buy
look.
once, cry once. I learned that from you.
That's true. That's true. But you could buy and not have to cry. Keep you tied along.
Dude,
okay.
And so speaking of that, I already want to upgrade my front speakers in the car.
Sweet. I'm glad.
I'm ready. I'm already ready to like upgrade really nice ones because like the 3D depth, it feels like putting a sound bar too low. Like I want it to be just, you know what I mean? I think it's missing that little.
You're gonna be drowning.
It's
in
great.
the
It's been so much fun, but I'm ready.
All right. Cool. We'll talk right after this. But thank you everybody for coming out and being a part of the show. We'll be back. Will it be before Christmas? That's a great question. Honestly,
Unlikely.
Yeah, we don't know the answer.
Not have a Merry Christmas.
We might not.
Happy New Year.
Will we ever do a casual conversation again? Gosh, I don't know. We're doing a lot of home renovation stuff spread out across all of us right now. But the most important thing is,
Jeremiah, I got a story for you later.
oh boy. But the most important thing is that you can write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com to be a part of the show or tweet @casualshaniga. And if we don't see you before Christmas, we hope you have a very Merry Christmas or a very happy holiday of whatever holiday.
Very Merry Winter. Very Merry Winter.
Sorry, very Merry Winter.
Father Winter.
I wish somebody had like a little bell they could ring, like ding ding, to play us out. But thank you everybody for coming out. And
donate to Patreon.
Well, you are editing this, so.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I could have just done that, couldn't I?
Is he really though?
You can even edit those words thinking about it and just do it.
The important thing is, a lot of good games have come out. And we'll be back later to talk about Battlefield in unrelated news. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and being a part of the show. And as always, stay casual.